All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and get started. Good morning, everybody. My name is Jordan Lederman. I am the sales director of 160 Marina Bay, Fort Lauderdale's newest, most boutique condominium building. This is our second installment of our webinar panel series, Under the Palms, sponsored by 160 Marina Bay. And today we have a fantastic webinar. We are talking about Fort Lauderdale's flourishing marine industry and yachting industry. And with me today, we have two great guests. We have Ronnie Krongold, the co-managing member of Gold Crown Vista, the developer of 160 Marina Bay, and also Bob Denison. He is the president and founder of Denison Yachting. So thank you both for being here. We're very excited to have you.
Thank you.
Before we get started, thanks, Bob. Before we get started, I do want to talk a little bit about 160 Marina Bay for our viewers, and then we will dive right into what makes this project so special and relative to Fort Lauderdale's flourishing yachting industry. I'm going to get some information on the screen. Alrighty, so 160 Marina Bay is in Fort Lauderdale. We are a 16-unit boutique building with 3,000 square foot units. We have a private 14-boat slip marina in the back. We're located right on Isle of Venice Drive, and this building is going to be the most luxurious high-tech building in the area. We're very proud of it. We're located 1.4 miles from Fort Lauderdale's beautiful beach, and we're also in between the beach and the booming downtown area. Fort Lauderdale, as Bob will probably get into later on, is really known for its beaches, its whole marine and boating lifestyle. We're known as the Venice of America for a reason. We're also the yachting capital of the world. We have more registered yachts here than anywhere else in the world. We also have the largest boat show in the world, the Fort Lauderdale International Boat Show, which is once a year. It's a very sophisticated city. We have beautiful beaches. Our specific site, we're located about 15 minutes direct to the Atlantic Ocean, and we're located in the canals, which is really what Fort Lauderdale is known for, and that's why they have dubbed us the Venice of America. Our location, again, is 1.4 miles directly to the heart of Fort Lauderdale Beach to the east. And then to the west, you have everything on Las Olas, which is the main drag of the downtown Fort Lauderdale city. Here you have all your restaurants, your bars, your shopping, your art galleries. So our location is a perfect blend for anybody deciding between beach property or city property. We're directly in the middle. Las Olas Boulevard is really popular for biking, walking, and running. And again, we are located right here on Isle of Venice Drive. Ronnie and his team specifically chose this location because it's at the far end of the aisle, which adds more privacy, it's more calm. We're also facing east. So these three aisles to the east are all single family homes. So you're overlooking these multi-million-dollar mansions as opposed to facing west on the other side of the aisle, which is more condominium buildings. Our terraces are something we're very proud of. And facing east, you can enjoy your terraces at all hours of the day. You don't face west with that hot afternoon sun, especially in the summertime where you can't use your terrace from noon to 7 p.m. Also being at the far end of the aisle makes it very convenient to pull your boat right in and out of the canal directly into your own boat slip. Our location, again, you can see the aerial view, just how close we are to the downtown area and the beach. And then if you want to take your boat directly to the ocean, you just go down the canal, you pass the Lauderdale Yacht Club, and then you get right into the Atlantic in about 15 to 20 minutes. Meanwhile, you're passing by all the multi-million-dollar mansions, restaurants and things along the intracoastal, which make it really fun for boaters. We're going to have a beautiful pool in our marine area with lounge chairs, cabanas, and a barbecue area. This building was designed, the units were designed to feel more like a home as opposed to a condominium unit. With almost 3,000 square feet, we did just that. We're also boutique, which is what buyers like these days. They don't want to have 1,000 neighbors. So here we only have 4 units per floor. We have 2 semi-private elevators, so that's 8 units per elevator. You're basically never going to see your neighbors in the elevator. We are going to be the most high-tech property in the area. You can control from one of the 5 touch panels going on in the unit, or through your phone app, or through voice activation. You can control your lights, your front door opening. It's going to be wired for window shades. If you don't like to get into cold showers, you can even tell your master bathroom shower head to turn on before you get in it, just with your voice. Everything is going to be super luxurious. Our floors are large tile porcelain floors imported direct from Italy. They're going to extend out to the balcony. You can see how spacious our living areas are and the beautiful views that you're going to get. This is one of our corner units called the Amalfi Residence. And then our interior units are just as spacious, beautiful views of the canal. We have a wet bar in the dining areas for both models, beautiful cabinets imported direct from Italy in the wet bar, bathroom, and kitchen. Throughout the unit, you're going to see matte black fixtures just for a more sophisticated feel. And again, very elegant design. We're very proud of our designer, RS3, based in Miami, and they did a fantastic job with this project. Our kitchens are going to be U-shaped, chef-inspired kitchens, 10-foot island, two-tone cabinets imported from Italy. We're going to use a beautiful quartz on the 10-foot island, as well as the countertops, and hidden panel refrigerator and dishwasher. All the appliances are state-of-the-art. We have Wolf, Meili, and Sub-Zero. Our terraces are something that were really important in a post-COVID world and the work from home environment. More people are spending time inside their units. That's why we not only made large, luxurious units, but also we wanted to give a lot of outdoor space. So we have massive terraces, over 550 square feet. They're really deep, so you can just put a couch and a dining table, not just a little table, but outside space was extremely important for this project. And again, we're a boutique building, very modern in design, yet extremely sophisticated in feeling and look. And for more information on the project, it's 160marinabay.com. We will be complete in second quarter of 2022, so just over a year away. Our prices range from about 2.2 million up to 2.5 million for the penthouse units. And it's a really beautiful project. I encourage everybody to take a look and email me, call me with more information or with any questions. We're also going to have a chat box throughout this webinar. If you look at the bottom of your screen, we have a Q&A session. If you have any questions for myself, for Bob, or for Ronnie, definitely feel free to type it in the Q&A, and we will go ahead and try to answer your questions as best as possible. Without further ado, I do want to first start with Bob and introduce Bob. Bob's the president and founder of Denison Yachting. Since 2002, you have, I think, about 22 offices in the United States right now, plus you have some in the Caribbean. Your family's been in the yachting industry for 3 generations. I believe you have over 110 brokers, and correct me if I'm wrong on any of this information, but it's a true pleasure to have you on the webinar, and nobody knows yachting better, especially in Fort Lauderdale, than yourself. So Bob, thanks again for being here.
Thank you, Jordan. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Bob, why don't you start off by telling the viewers what makes the yachting industry in Fort Lauderdale so special? What's your experience been like over the past many, many years?
Yeah, so I mean, you touched on it a little bit before. We very much are considered globally the yachting capital of the world. And that's not just like a false thing that we just, it's not like the kid that gave himself a nickname in high school just to sound tough. Like, everybody considers us the yachting capital of the world. And it's because of properties just like this. One of the big reasons why so many yachts come down to Fort Lauderdale is because there's so much access, right? There's so many canals. The way that the city developed back in the 1920s, 30s, 40s, 50s allowed for developments like this. And then as a result of that, there's a lot of great service people. And then there's the fun stuff too. Like, you see all the boats lined up behind Ronnie on the screen there. Every one of those boats at this property will be able to go out and enjoy themselves. Like you mentioned, the yacht club, there's a ton of restaurants and bars. And the city really, really does a good job of being pro marine and pro yachting. So it makes owning a boat or a yacht here in Fort Lauderdale a lot of fun.
Definitely. That's actually one of the reasons I prefer Fort Lauderdale over cities like Miami, is the canals and the intercoastal. There's tons of restaurants and bars that you can just pull your boat up into and have a nice lunch or dinner or outing. That's definitely one thing that I prefer about Fort Lauderdale.
Yep, totally.
And how have you seen the yachting industry change over the past several years? And I know there's lately, because of Corona and COVID, there's been a mass migration of people moving down to Florida. Have you guys noticed that in the yachting world?
Yeah, we've seen a big spike lately. I get when the pandemic first hit, it was actually a little bit scary because everything was sort of really on hold. But the last 8 or 9 months, it's been some of the hottest times ever. I've been doing this my entire adult life. I've never seen anything like this. And we have a lot of people from California, New York, other urban centers descending upon South Florida. And of course, a lot of them, while they're here, have enjoyed getting out on a boat. So the last few years have been great. The last like 6 months have been even better. In general, I'm just really bullish on us as an industry because of properties like this and projects like this that will make boating even easier and cooler. But yeah, we expect this to continue for hopefully a little while longer.
Great. And what makes Fort Lauderdale more of a yachting, or what makes it so special for yachters or for boaters compared to other cities? Are there, I don't know if it's regulations that the city does, or in your experience, are there certain things why there are more registered yachts here than anywhere else in the world?
Yeah, I think we've got a set of city commissioners and a mayor, and the local leaders recognize how important boating and yachting is as far as like an economic impact on the local community. And a lot of times people associate a big white yacht and they think about J-Lo sipping on champagne and TMZ capturing it, but it's really way more. I mean, that is kind of cool, by the way. But it's way more about a family activity. And those families that own boats here locally in Fort Lauderdale, the average spend in the local community, whether it's dockage or fuel or provisioning groceries, is somewhere between 10 and 13% of the value of the yacht. And what makes a boat or yacht interesting is that it's mobile. So if you have an unfriendly environment, you just go to the next town over. And Fort Lauderdale has done a really good job, not only to make it fun and exciting with the things we were talking about, but also make it easy and safe and make it attractive to keep your boat here. So that's just one of those things. We've been lucky as a city to have leaders that have had an eye on keeping the marine industry here. And I think I think and hope that that will continue to happen for the next 100 years.
Definitely. And from a lot of our buyers at the project, you know, what makes Fort Lauderdale special to them, we've had a few people mention this, is just how we are located directly in the middle between Miami-Dade and Palm Beach County. So it's very central to those two popular places. We have obviously Bimini all the way to the east. And I'm assuming the location of Fort Lauderdale is another reason that makes it so special in the Tri-County area.
Yeah, and there's plenty of cities in Florida and up and down the eastern seaboard that have a ton of marinas. What's special about your project and what's special about Fort Lauderdale is there's nothing quite like having a boat in your backyard. Like that's your yacht, your boat, it's there. And you may just want to go out on it to escape the stress of just to get on board and check emails or just tinker around on the boat. There's a certain joy associated with that. And not having the hassle of driving to a marina or taking your boat out of storage, then putting it on the boat lift or the boat ramp. Like to take your yacht out from your backyard to turn a key. I'm looking at one of those boats behind you. You could be in Bimini literally 2.5 hours after you start the motor from your backyard. So that kind of thing happens a hell of a lot more in Fort Lauderdale than anywhere else in the world. And I think that's one of the things that makes this project special, and or just owning a yacht in your backyard. There's a certain cool factor attached to having your yacht in your backyard.
Awesome. Before I turn it over to Ronnie, one more question. What's the fastest you've ever made it to Bimini?
Fastest I've ever made it is an hour and a half. And that was without the kids, without my wife. And it was, it was a lot of fun.
Nice. All right, Ronnie. Well, thanks, Bob. And we'll probably get back to you with some more questions. But Ronnie, the project has gotten tremendous feedback so far, 160 Marina Bay. You're the managing member of Gold Crown. You're the developer of the project. Your company's been involved in some iconic projects. You've owned, managed, built things like Jungle Island, Midtown Miami, and a lot more. Why did you choose Fort Lauderdale? And tell us a little bit why you chose this specific site for 160 Marina Bay.
Well, we had an opportunity to buy this piece of property, and just as Bob explained, I mean, understand, this is the boating community of South Florida. Not only South Florida, you go around the world, this is a list of Venice. And a good example of that is this is where Bob Denison started, where his family 3 generations ago started this yachting company. And where are they? They're in Fort Lauderdale, because that is the boating community of the United States. And again, an A-list, if you go to the top of all the different boating or the yachting brokerage companies, Denison's it. So first of all, we're very privileged to be on the same webinar with them. And getting back to the answer to your question is when we looked around, and we just finished a project in Midtown. We sold 600 condominium units. When we looked around for our next venture, although this seems like it's small, it's 16 units, it is really a large, small project because the units, as you said, are right on the water. It's something different. We have 14 marina slips. We can accommodate boats. There's a limitation somewhat in Fort Lauderdale on this canal, but we really can accommodate a 60-foot boat in these slips. We put with every slip comes the pedestal with water, electricity, and also cable. You actually take your elevator, walk downstairs, walk out, turn on your boat, and you're boating in the best community in all of the United States in Fort Lauderdale. You can go to Miami with your boat down the intercoastal, or you can go out through Port Everglades, 10, 15 minutes to get out into the ocean and go down to Miami. Or you can go up to the Palm Beaches or up from there. And also these units are built so that we accommodate large families in 3,000 square foot units, 3 bedrooms. So it's perfect for a family, and for a family to be boating now, especially with what we had with COVID and so forth, it is the thing to do. And we're thrilled with where we are as far as Los Olas Boulevard. You can go and take your boat, take your bike and bicycle to the beach in 10 minutes and be laying out on a beautiful white sandy beach in Fort Lauderdale. So we are really happy with where we chose. And to prove how good it is, our sales have already started. We're doing very well. So it's the right place at the right time, and we're very happy to be there.
Great. And I know, as an experienced developer, you had a lot of choices of land to pick. And I know one of the main reasons for this site, besides the 240 linear feet that you have on the water, was having a project with a private marina. Can you tell us a little bit how important that was for your next project to be one with a private marina in the back?
Well, you're always looking for, when you're a developer, you're always looking for an edge, okay? Well, Midtown Miami, where we did the 600 units, the edge there was, it was a brand new community in Miami that's central located to Miami. With this piece of property, this is centrally located to everything. You can get on the Bright Line, which is 13 minutes away from our property, which is for those of you that aren't from Miami, it's a express train that goes down to Miami. You can actually be from this unit, 13 minutes to the Bright Line, stops right by the Miami Marina. You can be in a heat game in less than 45 minutes in your seat. And that goes for also for the Dolphins. It's a very short, that you'd be taking your car and you drive, very short ride, okay, to the baseball game, same as the Heat game. So and then if you want to go to Worth Avenue on Palm Beach, which is really an exciting area for shopping and eating and just walking, terrific. It's beautiful. So this site, it was the edge. In other words, you're always looking for, when you're a developer, you're looking for sales. Well, you're looking for a hook for the sales. Our hook here is Fort Lauderdale. And the boating area at Fort Lauderdale, the idea of boating in Fort Lauderdale, the accommodations of the restaurants, the combination of the restaurants, the shopping, the beach, and the access to both Miami and Palm Beach area. And also one thing that we did leave out, it's less than 90 minutes to Naples from Fort Lauderdale, Naples, Florida, on the West Coast. So it's just an exciting place to be. But the real thing here was the boating. And just as an example of the accommodations with the boating is Denison's here. I mean, you couldn't ask for more accommodations for your boating than what's around and in Fort Lauderdale.
Definitely. Bob, as a huge yacht broker, huge yacht company, and someone who loves Fort Lauderdale as yourself, I know you do. For people who aren't familiar with Fort Lauderdale, can you give us an idea of maybe some of your favorite things or some of the more popular things to do when you have a boat or seeing Fort Lauderdale from a boating aspect?
Yeah, so I mean, I have 4 little kids that I know next 15 years I'm going to be like battling it out with them to get their attention away from this and on just being with me and our family. And that's one of the things that I love about boating. It doesn't really matter where you go. When you're on a boat, it's just a hell of a lot more likely that you're going to put this down, right? And even if you're just getting out in the water, Fort Lauderdale is one of those great places where you can go see massive homes and estates. And it's not just going to the bars and restaurants, that's certainly part of it, but there's also sandbars to just like raft up next to people, swim around. And of course there's the fishing and just like going out the inlet that you showed before as fast as you can with the wind, all that stuff is just exciting. And it feels good to connect with the environment, the water, maybe see a manatee. You can't hit the manatee with your boat, but you can see it with your boat and just sort of like create unique memories with your family that's just totally separate from anything else out there is a really, really cool thing. And hearing Ronnie talk about the position of this property and going to Worth Avenue or a Heat game, it's amazing. And you can do that. It'll take a little bit longer on a boat, but it's a totally separate experience to turn the engine on your boat, head down to the American Airlines Marina. It'll take you a few hours to go see the Heat game, then come back up. Like that's not normal. That's an amazing night out. So that is one of the cool things about this property is you can not only enjoy Fort Lauderdale from the water, but also Miami, Palm Beach, Bimini. And it's just, even if you do nothing, just to get out there is sort of a really cool day in and of itself.
Yeah. Another thing, the downtown is really booming in Fort Lauderdale. I mean, it's already established, but it's really booming. And, lately we've seen a lot more places along the river, like the wharf. And just cruising through the river through downtown is something that's really breathtaking to see. City skyline in the back. So that's really cool as well.
It's the best. It's just unbelievable. And it's really cool. I mean, growing up here, you see a resurgence lately of really good, even the small stuff like really good coffee shops and really good, just little places to retreat to is just as special, just as nice. And there's a lot of those places that you can access by the water, which of course makes it very unique. But I love seeing what's happening in Fort Lauderdale. It makes me want to stay here forever.
One of the things that Bob just brought up about access, I mean, something that's just so special about Fort Lauderdale, also Miami, in that I have a boat and we have a family. We're always looking for things to do on Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays to get out. You can actually be in your unit decide you want to go out, walk downstairs, get in your boat, and within minutes you can be pulling up to one of the fine restaurants in Fort Lauderdale, where there's plenty of dockage, and you just pull up, you sit on your boat, they bring you your food, and you eat. And you can be watching TV on your boat, or you can just be watching the boats that go by. You can get out, you can go into the restaurant and eat. It's really something special. It's something that you get used to. You know, you get used to going out of your apartment, getting into your car, and going to a restaurant. Well, with boating, after you do it a while, it's the same thing. You get used to going into your boat, taking off a few of the lines, driving down the canal, getting to a restaurant, and just enjoying the afternoon. It's special for you. It's special for your children. Just a great afternoon, a great way to live. And it's such a different way to live than especially somewhere like New York or Chicago or areas like that. And we do it another. I would suggest that you look at the YouTube on 160 Marina Bay. There's another aspect here. If you're coming down from up north, not only the boating and being able to buy a yacht from Denison, but the tax, what's happened with taxes between the state of Florida and New York, Connecticut, Massachusetts, California. The difference in your tax rates are so substantial, you can actually buy a boat with what you save on just taxes.
Yeah, Ronnie, that's a great point. And that's why I think that's one of the major reasons we've seen this mass migration to Southeast Florida. And to steal a quote from the Fort Lauderdale Strategic Alliance, I heard them say this on a webinar a few weeks back, but they go by the slogan of, for Fort Lauderdale, life less taxing, which I think is amazing. And it really sums up what's going on right now, because not only is life less taxing financially when you live in Florida, but life in general is less taxing when you live under the sunshine, palm trees and sand and boats all around. So I think that's really a great slogan.
I see one of your questions on the chat is about the schools. Fort Lauderdale, the state of Florida, first of all, their schools are open. Okay, our kids are going to school, and in the Fort Lauderdale area, there's some of the best private schools in the country, and also the public schools are very good. But in Fort Lauderdale, there are good private schools. So to answer the question about the schools, you can't be any better than in the state of Florida, and our system is getting progressively better. So to answer that question.
And I just want to mention, because I grew up very close by this property, it is, I think you guys already know this, but I'm just going to say it and pretend like it was my idea. Right down the street, the school district is Virginia Schumann on Broward Boulevard. It's rated one of the greatest elementary schools of all time in Broward County. And there's also a lot of other great private schools in the area, like Bethany. It's just right there, positioned in a really good spot for a family with young kids for that reason.
Yeah, and then Bayview Elementary, which is public as well, top school. Yeah, there's great schools. Bob, to answer some questions on the Q&A, who is your favorite yacht builder currently?
Heeson. Sadly, there's not a lot of yacht builders here in the U.S. Heeson's in Holland, and we actually have a project there right now, and you'll see Heeson's on the water in Fort Lauderdale. Just awesome boats, and their brokers are really nice and handsome too.
Nice. And in terms of boat show, to answer another question on the chat, in your opinion, which one of the boat shows, I'm assuming in the Tri-County area, do you know who has the most transactions, most attendance?
Yeah, so we consider it the Super Bowl of all boat shows is in Fort Lauderdale. I'm, again, a Fort Lauderdale kid, so I'm very biased, but in my opinion, I think in everybody's opinion, if they're honest, globally, Fort Lauderdale is the most significant boat show, bigger than Monaco. I think it's the size of the Monaco Yacht Show and the Miami Show and Palm Beach kind of all together. It's that big. It's just massive. And it's not just the transactions from the show. It's also the thing we were talking about before, the economic impact of all those people hitting Fort Lauderdale at the same time is huge. Palm Beach is also great. That's actually next week. If anybody wants tickets, let me know. The Palm Beach Boat Show is next week, and that's also a great one too.
Terrific. All right, great. Well, guys, with that being said, it was great to learn about Fort Lauderdale and the yachting community, why we are the Venice of Americas. One final question for both of you. When are we going boating? I'm free next weekend.
So are we taking Ronnie's boat out or one of mine? I would pick
Let's do
Ronnie's.
both.
Bigger, way cooler than mine.
He's got a bigger boat.
Well, we'll talk about it after the webinar, but that sounds
Cool.
good.
Okay, great.
All right, guys. Well, everybody, I really appreciate you joining. For more information on Denison Yachts, you can visit denisonyachtSales.com. That's denisonyachtSales.com, or on social media, their handle is @Denison Yachting. For more information on 160 Marina Bay, you can go to 160marinabay.com. You can also call our sales center at 954-939-0990, or shoot me an email directly and I will respond immediately, Jordan@160 Marina Bay. And then the last thing before we go, Ronnie mentioned that we are, for those viewers today, over the next 30 days, if you are interested in a Denison or in a yacht, contact Bob Denison. But also, if you're interested in a unit, in the next 30 days, you will get a discount on one of our units if you mentioned Denison Yachts. So again, we will be offering a discount for the next 30 days. For those viewers who...
Let me correct you, okay?
Go ahead, Ronnie.
The discount is specifically on the cost of the slip that we have.
Perfect.
We have 14 slips for 16 units. We still have, I think, 11 left, okay? And that's where we'll give a discount if you mention Denison.
You heard it from the man himself. Mention Denison, get a discount on a slip. And again, that goes for the next 30 days. For those viewers watching this on YouTube or other places, today's March 18th. So you have until April 18th if you are interested. Bob, absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for being on here. Ronnie, same to you. Join us next week on March 23rd. We will be talking about Fort Lauderdale, but this time the arts and culture in Fort Lauderdale. We have amazing guests. For everyone who participated today, you will get an e-vite to see the agenda. But March 23rd is our next webinar, and we're going to be talking about the booming arts and culture district in Fort Lauderdale. So again, thank you both for being here. Thanks to for everyone who attended, and we appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.